You're listening to My Spirit Radio, worldwide broadcasting network, on FM, the digital radio, and across the internet. www.myspiritradio.com.
I mean, one of the biggest things as human beings that we have to get over is our ability to keep repeating the same mistake and keep repeating the same pattern. And it's through fear, in a way. I mean, a lot of people, some people have got lots of money, but they're no good at relationships, or some people keep being attracted to people who are married. What advice would you give people on how to break patterns?
Well, it's about addictions. A lot of us come back here because of addictions. A lot of us have certain patterns we come back to. I do believe this is our schoolroom, of course, and we come back to learn these various lessons, which we haven't learned in other lifetimes, so we put it back on the plate this time. And we will repeat until we get to a point where it's like, in our innermost heart, our innermost soul, we have had this experience before, and we have to choose the right from wrong. And I say to people, the more you can go within, and go whether from meditation or prayer, or just to go within to know yourself, the better that you know yourself, the easier the right choice will be for you. And you'll know what the right choice to make, whether it's to stay in that marriage, which seems to be going downhill, and get the divorce, whether it's to say no to this other person, no to this job, yes to this situation. You have to know yourself, because inside yourself you've had the experiences before, and they own self be true. And I think that life is really a series of choices. I'm jumping a little bit around it, but I think that life is a series of choices, and all choices in life are based upon two things: either love or fear, and that is it. That is it. And as you just said, so many people tune into the fear part of it. Because we're all surrounded by it, too, by our society, the world we live in, it's people in the news. It's all fear-based. But really, we are truly loving beings. And when we live in fear, we're living away from our true nature.
That's really interesting, because what I notice is that we have unlimited choices, but people seem to think there's only like one or two choices in their life.
Well, how can you limit God?
Yeah.
It's funny.
It's just like we are actually so much more powerful. But it is about, in a way, being there for ourselves to make the change.
That's right. It's to realize that we are God. We are that God light, that shot of God. I like the way you said that. Yeah. Spark of God, the diamond of the light. I use the sun and the ray of sun. We're a ray of that sunlight. Yeah. And it's so funny, but I don't know. People, I think that's what we have to be out there more teaching people and telling people, you are unlimited, and you have to make sure that your thoughts are unlimited, your mind is unlimited, because God says yes, okay, to anything. We can have anything in this world we want. God says yes.
Ask and you shall receive, yeah.
But our egos say no. Yeah. See, our egos limit God.
So tell me a bit about your shows in England, where they are and what you're going to be doing.
Well, I'm going to be talking to dead people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Business as usual.
Yes, I'm going to be actually. I'm doing a tour, 8-city tour with Tony Stockwell, and I will be. Gosh, I'm going all over the country. I'll be everywhere from Blackpool. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yep, and it's on my website, which is vanpraagh.com. VANPRAAGH. People will see that there, and. Yeah, it's our Tony Stockwell site has it too, and we're going to do an hour each. We're going to do. It's going to be very different for me because I've never worked with the British audience before. I've worked with Canadians. I've worked with Australians. I've worked with Brazilians. I've worked with Japanese. I've worked with Spanish. I've never worked with British, which is interesting.
Do you find it's a different energy in each country? You have a different reaction from the audience. What have you found to be the difference?
I find that the reaction, as far as how open they are, is very, very different. I know that the British seem to be very reserved, if you will, and where New Yorkers are just the opposite. Yeah. So it's just, and when I work with spirit, I need to have the energy and the emotional set from the audience as well. I find it very difficult if they're just sitting there like stone cold. They need to be involved in the situation. So I think it should be quite interesting because I'm also a bit of a sense of humor I have that I've gotten into trouble before.
I think you'll go down a storm. I think you're going to find. I think you'll find that they'll really warm to you. And it's interesting that you chose Tony because he has got that very gentle, loving, funny. I mean, everybody loves Tony. He's great, and I think it's going to be brilliant.
Oh, thank you. It's going to be.
Sorry, go on.
It's going to be in Brighton, Cardiff, and then we're going to Croydon, and then we go to Bradford, Brentwood, and then Blackpool, and Newcastle.
That's great. I think it's going to be fabulous. I never got, because I'm a typical Aries, I leapt in straight into what I wanted to ask. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how your first experiences in childhood, because that's quite fascinating.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Because you were a Catholic altar boy at one point, is that right? Yes,
I was. I was a grown-up group Catholic. I went to a grade school, a Catholic grade school. And one of the experiences there was in second grade. I was 7 years old. And I walked up to my teacher, and I said to her, your son is going to be okay. He just broke his leg. The car didn't hit him. The car didn't kill him. She looked at me and she thought I was crazy. And she said, take your seat. And then within 5 minutes, the principal came in, who was a nun, and came in and went to this teacher and said, please come out of the room. Left. And then 10 minutes later came back, and she looked straight at me, this teacher, and she said, you. And she pointed and came to come up here. Walked up, and I was I'm a short guy. I'm 5'5" now, so then I must have been 2 feet tall. I'm a little guy. And she looked at me and she said, how did you know? And I said, what? She said, my son was just hit by a car chasing a ball, but he just broke his leg. And then I started crying. And I started crying, and I couldn't stop crying. And this teacher, her name was Mrs. Weinlich, and she said, no, James, don't cry. She goes, don't cry. And she goes, God gives certain people certain abilities to do things, and this is what maybe you'll help people with them. But I was crying because I thought I created this situation. That's why I was crying, because I thought I created it. And she said, no, it doesn't work that way. So isn't that interesting?
But it's amazing that actually the universe sent you that teacher at that time to give you the message that it was okay, which is fantastic, because it could have gone a whole another way, couldn't it?
Oh, it certainly could have.
Yeah.
I certainly could have had a nun, and she could have said, you're going to hell.
Yeah.
So yes, it could have gone another way. But obviously, it was set up that way from Spirit that this would work this way, obviously. It's so incredibly, every day I'm reminded about how amazing the intricacies of Spirit are of influencing our lives.
Yeah, bringing the right people in as well.
That's right. And the more open we are to it, the more we can see those beautiful intricacies and be part of the amazing miracle.